Welcome back to Take Action News, everybody. David Shuster here, along with our Take Action News editor-in-chief, Charlie Mitchell. Congress eventually did vote last week to provide $9 billion in appropriations to help for Hurricane Sandy relief. But that came after a major dust-up earlier in the week, and that is the night of the fiscal cliff deal that it got voted on the House. And keep in mind that the Senate had already passed a $60 billion measure. There was supposed to be a vote in the House, or at least a lot of people from New York and New Jersey and their lawmakers representing them thought there would be a vote. And there was not. There was no vote. And so the next day, New Jersey Governor Christie came out and said this.
America deserves better than just another example of a government that has forgotten who they are there to serve and why. 66 days and counting. Shame on you. Shame on Congress.
66 days and counting since Hurricane Sandy, and you heard Christie upset, but that was nothing compared to Congressman Peter King, Republican from New York. Congressman Peter King said that he was told by Eric Cantor late that night that there would be no vote, and that it was John Boehner's decision. Peter King went absolutely ballistic when he appeared on Fox News. Listen.
Anyone from New York or New Jersey who contributes one penny to congressional Republicans is out of their mind, because what they did last time was put a knife in the back of New Yorkers and New Jerseyans. It was an absolute disgrace.
Charlie Mitchell, what happened on that night, and why the foul-up over this?
Well, the problem from Boehner's perspective was that he had just brought his members through a vote that they did not want to take on the fiscal cliff legislation. That vote basically allowed tax rates to rise on the richest Americans, and Republicans were not happy about it. It was a huge, bitter pill for them to swallow, and Boehner felt like he couldn't bring another bill that spent billions of dollars to the floor. He thought that he would have a mutiny on his hands. Now, I can't imagine, though, on the other hand, that it would not have passed. All of the Northeastern Republicans would have voted for it, and all of the Democrats would have voted for it, and that would have put it over the top. But Boehner, I think, was basically fearful for his own position. He thought that he was really risking a mutiny if he did this. But the pride, and it provoked a fierce reaction from Christie, who put the blame squarely on Boehner for this, and he said Boehner was playing internal politics with this, and he was neglecting people who are deeply in need. There are still people in New York and New Jersey who don't have hot water, who are still recovering from this, and whose neighborhoods are devastated and all of that, and it's taken a long time for the federal government to act. And it's raised a lot of suspicions and charges that within the Republican Party there was a regional bias against the Northeast, and everybody's pointed out that in the aftermath of Katrina and Rita, the federal government responded pretty quickly in terms of Congress getting the money out there. I mean, that happened right around Labor Day, and in September the money was out and was flowing, and Congress had voted on relief packages and all of this, and everybody came together, and those things passed without any controversy. So Christie was asking, what gives here? Why aren't we getting the type of help that we've helped provide for many other parts of the country in the past? So there was an awful lot of anger over this, but I think Boehner's eye was very much on his own caucus and problems within his own caucus, and he thought it would be too dangerous. And of course, by doing that, he just created an even bigger problem for himself. And that clip that you just played of Peter King, I am sure that Democrats are going to be playing that over and over and over in the next round of elections, and it's going to cause, a lot of problems. What Boehner did on this issue and the way that he handled this was about as big a foul-up as you'll ever see, and I attribute it to really the pressures of the last week, the pressures of the last few days. I think in a number of ways got to him. I mean, you saw, David, the story about him cursing out Harry Reid in the in the hallway outside the Oval Office. I mean, this is a guy who was under a lot of pressure, and I think the strains were showing, and his tactical decision making was a little bit flawed. Let's say that in the last couple of days.
Charlie Mitchell, editor-in-chief of Take Action News, and Charlie, I think you're right. I mean, the foul-up, and you described it as the biggest, as big a foul-up as you'll ever see. I'd agreed with you, and also perhaps underscored by how Peter King responded. I mean, it's not often you see a member of your own party say, "Yeah, well, you just stabbed us in the back."
Right, exactly. And I mean, there will be repercussions from this. It won't be forgotten or easily papered over. It was a big deal. It's a big deal when you have people in your own state and in your own district who are still suffering very, very much, and your leadership just won't deal with it. And I mean, as said, this has historically been a bipartisan issue. Disaster relief is something where everybody comes together and just gets it done. And the idea of playing politics with it or getting it into some ideological dispute is it's really unheard of.
Charlie Mitchell, editor-in-chief of Take Action News. Charlie, great stuff as always. Welcome back to the program. Happy 2013, my friend, and we'll talk to you soon.
Great. Thank you, David. Talk to you soon.
Charlie Mitchell, you can follow him on Twitter at CFMTan. Coming up, we'll talk with Kevin Madden about the state of the Republican Party when Take Action News continues.